Good morning, children. How are you all? Hope you all are fine. Children, as we all are aware of magnetism and magnets, you people have studied this magnetism and magnets in class 6 as well. So children, you all have some little knowledge of magnetism and magnets. What is a magnet? A magnet is a piece of the substance which has the property of attracting iron objects and other magnetic substances. What are the magnetic substances which are getting attracted towards a magnet? Like iron, nickel, cobalt, etc. These all are magnetic substances. These are getting attracted towards a magnet. And the property of attracting iron pieces by a magnet is known as magnetism. Now children, first topic is to study the important properties of a magnet. What are the important properties of the magnet? First property is the magnetic force of a magnet is maximum at its poles. Now we know that each magnet has two poles, and the magnetic strength or the magnetic power of any magnet is maximum at the poles, and at the center it will be minimum. At the ends of a magnet or at the poles of the magnet, its magnetic strength or the magnetic power is maximum. Second property is the directive property of a magnet. What is this directive property? Whenever we suspend a bar magnet freely, it always aligns itself in the north-south direction. Any magnet, if you hang it anywhere and freely suspend it, we will find that it always point in the north-south direction. The end of the bar magnet pointing towards geographic north is called north pole of the magnet, and the end of the bar magnet pointing towards geographic south is called the south pole of a magnet. This is the directive property of a magnet. Third property is magnetic poles exist in pairs only. Yes, that means if you divide a magnet into two parts, it will not like that each part of the magnet will contain the north pole and other part will contain south pole. No, if you divide any magnet, as soon as the magnet divides into two parts, both of the parts will generate two poles by itself. That means no bar magnet has any one pole. In every bar magnet we have two poles, that is north pole and a south pole. Next, last property of a magnet is magnetic induction. What is magnetic induction, children? The property of producing temporary magnetism, not permanent, temporary magnetism in a magnetic substance due to the presence of a magnet near it is called what? Magnetic induction. Whenever magnetism is reduced or temporarily it is produced in a magnetic substance, when a permanent magnet is kept near to it, it is known as magnetic induction. Now second topic is law of magnetism. What is law of magnetism? The law of magnetism states that like magnetic poles repel one another and unlike magnetic poles attract each other. Thus, if a north pole magnetic pole repels, thus a north magnetic pole always repels another north pole but attracts a south pole. Similarly, a south pole repels another south pole but attracts a north pole. That means like poles repel each other and unlike poles attract each other. Now next topic is, children, test for a magnet. Test for a magnet. What is the test for a magnet? See children, how we come to know that whether a given magnetic substance is whether a magnet or no, or it is not a magnet. What we will do? Repulsion is the sure test of a magnetism. That means magnet can do two things. Either it will attract the thing or it will repel the thing. But why only repulsion is the sure test of a magnetism? Why repulsion we take as that if it will repel, it is a sure test. We will say that it is a magnet. That I will explain you. Magnetic attraction is possible between a magnet and a magnetic substance, even if it is not a magnet. We know that if we had two substances, two bars, one is magnet and another is magnetic substance like iron, nickel or cobalt, then when we keep them together, they will attract. Okay, they will attract each other. Why? Because a magnet always attracts magnetic substance. However, magnetic repulsion is possible only between the like poles of two magnets. They will repel if and only if when both are the magnets. If they do not repel, that means we cannot say surely that the given bars are magnets. But if they repel each other, then we can say that the given bar is a magnet. Hence, magnetic repulsion is the sure test of the magnetism. Now, next topic is electromagnet. What is electromagnet, children? An electromagnet is a coil with a soft iron core. That means, what is electromagnet? Electromagnet we take a coil with a soft iron core, and it is a temporary magnet which can be made a magnet by passing current. What we do, we take a soft iron core and after that what we do, we wound a insulated wire, coil of insulated wire we wound over that soft iron core, and when we join that, the two ends of that wire with a source of current, then what happens, when current starts flowing through that wire, then that soft iron core will start behaving like a magnet, and that at that time it is known as electromagnet. That means a magnetic substance become a magnet when electric current is passed over it, and that's why it is known as electromagnet. Now we can increase or decrease the strength of an electromagnet. How we can do that? The strength of an electromagnet we can increase by increasing the number of turns in the coil. That means if we increase the number of windings over that coil, we can increase the strength of electromagnet. Secondly, we can increase the strength of electromagnet by increasing the strength of the current. So there are the two ways to increase the strength of the electromagnet. Okay. Now the next topic is electric current. What is electric current, children? See, children, electric current, whenever an electric appliance or a gadget is actually working, what is actually happening actually at that time? An electric current is flowing through the appliance or the gadget. If we say that a mixer is working or a grinder is working, how it is working? Actually it is working because electric current is flowing through that appliance or gadget. How we can define electric current? Electric current can be defined as the flow of electric charge per unit time. How we can define current? Current is equals to charge upon time. An electric current is defined as the flow of electric charge per unit time. The SI unit of electric current is ampere. Small a, M-P-E-R-E, or we can rewrite it in the symbolic form with a capital letter A. Electric current is said to be 1 ampere if 1 coulomb of charge flows per second. The direction of electric current is the direction of flow of positive charge or opposite to the direction of flow of negative charge. Now next topic is conductors and insulators of electricity. Conductors and insulators of electricity is what? A material. What are conductors of electricity? A material, any material which allows electricity or which allows the flow of electric current through it easily is called an electric conductor. All the metals and alloys such as copper, aluminium, nickel, tin, brass, German silver, all the metals are good conductors of electricity. Mercury is also a good conductor of electricity. The human body is also a good conductor of electricity. The electric current can easily flow through a human body, but it is not as good conductor as metals. But human body is also a good conductor of electricity. Now what are insulators? A material which does not allow the flow of electric current through it is called an electric insulator. Examples: most non-metals and materials like plastic, rubber, wood, glass, oil, cotton, wool, ceramics, all are insulators. Pure water is also an insulator. All gases are also insulators. Now you might have seen that the electric wires are always wrapped with rubber or plastic material. Why? Because the rubber and the plastic material acts as an insulator, so as to make their use in their electric circuits safe. That's why all the wires are insulated either with glass, either with rubber or with the plastics. Okay, children. Now next and the last topic for this video is sources of electricity. What is sources of electricity? The various sources of electricity are cells, batteries, main supply, generators, etc. We, for the source of electricity, either we use cell or we use batteries, we use main supply. Main supply, that means the supply, the where your meter box is installed, no, that is known as actually main supply. And generators. What is cell? The first ever source of continuous flow of electricity has been an electric cell. What is electric cell? It is an arrangement in which chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. Due to this reason, an electric cell is also known as electrochemical cell. Because in a cell, what happens? Chemical energy is being converted into electrical energy. Now, electric cells are of two types. What are the two types of cells? Primary cells and secondary cells. A primary cell is that which once used cannot be reused. That like your cell which you use in your remote, your toys. Once they are consumed completely, we are not going to reuse them. We simply throw them. So the examples of primary cells are Daniell cell, dry cell, Leclanché cell. All these are the examples of primary cells. Secondary cells, what are secondary cells? A secondary cell is that which can be used again and again by recharging them. For example, you might have seen the battery which is used in the mobile phones. What happens when it completely got discharged? Will you throw that? No, we do not throw. What we do, we recharge it and we use that again. In battery of an inverter, battery of a car, all are examples of secondary cells. Most commonly used cell is the dry cell, which we use in our torches, we used in our watches, which we use on the wall clock, remotes, toys. So children, I have completed today till page number 121. I hope that you all will read till page number 121. Thank you.